Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Dear Olga, dear Nun Thaisia, was part of the fabric of St. John's Church from 1961 until she became too ill to go anymore, and then it came time for her to come here. Of course, the Mother of God led her, as she leads so many of us. The Mother of God led her in the presence of the coarse root icon of the Mother of God, which was brought to us, and then she found out about it from one of her co-workers, former co-workers, Igor Bauman, who brought her here. And after that, one thing led to another, and she became part of the fabric of this parish. Her prayers, while she was in the flesh, were strong. There are many people here who testified about this fact and her effect on their lives. I'm thinking particularly of your husband John, who spoke at a memorial meal of how she prayed fervently that he would find a wife, and there you are. Among many other items of her fruitfulness of her prayer, that's one that comes to mind immediately, and I'm sure we all have many of those. Matuska prepared an album, and I was looking at it as she was getting it ready, and all of the pictures that are in there of just her time here, which wasn't a long time. It wasn't nearly like the 40 years that she spent at St. John's, but it had a real effect on us. It had a real effect on her too, from what I'm gathering from what she told her children. And so we are privileged to have this person. I say "are" in the present tense because as Christians, we know she's alive. We know she's alive to the Lord in a way that is hinted at for us all the time in our belief in the resurrection, in our hymns of the resurrection. And so she will ever be with the Lord. That is what we pray, especially after this preparatory time when we refer to her as the newly translated. Well, she's done with being newly translated now. She's ever memorable to us. She's ever a part of us, everyone who's here, every part of our remembrance of her in her work life, remembrance of her in her church life, and just being with us. Thomas, he took her around, and he picked her up and took her everywhere, and she forced him to clean his car. Among many things that she helped. She prayed for him. She prayed to him to clean his car, and he did it. Another effect of her prayer.
The Spirit got me to get a trash bag in my car.
Just her effect on our lives, her direct effect on our lives. Her own connection to St. John of Kronstadt is so remarkable. She reposed on the day of the discovery of the Iveron icon of Montreal, and this 40th day of hers is the day of John of Kronstadt, who was another of her greatly favored saints. So we have much to be thankful for in her presence with us. We have much to be thankful for forever. Forever, as much as any of the fairy tales can talk about, and they lived happily ever after. We will live happily ever after with the presence and memory of Olga Prisekin, made into Nun Thaisia. Father, would you like to add any more to that?
Well, perhaps I'll say something, if you will. I can testify to the love that Olga Prisekin had for all her, especially her family, and her husband, her mother, her sister, and others, other relatives, but for the community as well. You know, she had a lot of love for the community, and she knew how to express that in her own way. And just to reflect on the last hymn, Memory Eternal, our memories are very flawed and far from eternal. But the memory of God, the Creator, is eternal. our existence is permeated by, supported by his memory. So when we sing Memory Eternal, we're really talking about life eternal in the kingdom to come, and in that transition that we are in before the general resurrection, and will be fully reconstituted in the image and likeness that we were supposed to be in paradise with Adam. So that's what we look forward to. And certainly, you know, when we recall people who not only lived a good life, but died piously, which I think Nun Thaisia was exemplary in that. I mean, her towards the end of her life, her every breath was a prayer of some sort, you know, that God understood. Certainly, we didn't understand it all, but God understood it, and she expressed that spontaneously and continuously, just as St. Paul advises, pray continuously. So it's with that image and that light that accompanied her life and her becoming a nun, which was so joyous, that we rejoice with her today. Of course, we miss her humanly, but in another sphere, we just are overawed at God's mercy and His providence. He knows how to put things together that we never thought could happen, you know, in our own worldly, short-sighted way. So it's amazing and awesome that we can get together and celebrate her life and her new life